Hey guys, what's happening? Here, scoot over a little bit, Heather. What's happening, guys? So we are live here for a special interview tonight. It's going to be really awesome. Our good pal, Jason Swoboda, is here. Longtime Funko collector and now co-writer of a comic book. And we were actually advertised in it. Boom! There he is. He's right there. Hello. Welcome.
Is this on? Oh, there we go.
So Jason is here. Oh, there's echo. There can't be echo. Come on. Is there echo? Hold on. Let me try to.
Nathan Lowe always.
No, Nathan Lowe he's keeping his eye on the prize.
It's that epic. It's so epic. We need echoes.
Yeah.
All right. Sounded like a WWE ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Gastlecast Royal Rumble double threat stream. Oh, Royal Rumble?
it's tonight. Yeah.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Let us know how the sound is sounding. Let us know. So, huge echo? Huge echo? There can't be. That's impossible. Sounds like Luke Skywalker. Sounded like a WWE.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's probably
No,
because we have two mics.
No. Sound like Michael Buffer. Well, that's okay. We're gonna keep going on with it. Is it bad? Is it real bad? Does it sound horrible? I fixed it earlier. I shouldn't be doing that anymore. All right, testing. I can hear it. All right, whatever. We're going to keep going. So, guys, we're here with Jason Swoboda. Jason.
Hi.
Hello. He actually is releasing a new comic book called God Mode. He's a co-writer on. And guess what? We show up on the very back page. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I can't believe that. So we're pretty cool. So guess what? We actually have 10 copies of this comic book to give away tonight, along with this shirt that I'm wearing. We have 8 copies of this shirt.
I found some extras.
You found some extras. So we have two XLs, 2 larges,
2X,
2X, one small, and one medium. There you go.
Yes.
We know it now. Okay. Let's see. We understand you unless someone gets overly drunk. Well, that's good. As long as you can understand us, then we're good. That's totally fine. So, how long have you been in the Funko game, as some people like to say?
Well, I got my very first wobbler back in, I think it's been about 18 years. That's what I went with. I did the math, did the time. It's been about 18, 19 years now, but it was at a Spencer's online, and I wound up finding an El Diablo Wacky Wobbler, and I was like, it was Bone Daddy, excuse me. It was a Bone Daddy Wacky Wobbler, and I was really into like swing music at the time, and just like, this is my thing. I like it, and it was on clearance. So I'm like, sweet. Then I found an El Diablo a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh, they're both wearing the same thing. Sweet, matches. And then they kind of just sat there for a while, and then I started going to Spencer's because I used to work at Suncoast at the mall. Rest in peace, Suncoast.
Oh,
I used to work at Suncoast at the mall, and I would go to Spencer's, and they would just have them all on clearance, and then I suddenly realized I amassed probably about 20 wobblers.
So there were Bone Daddies inside of the...
They sold them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bone Daddy, El Diablo, all the originals.
So plastic characters.
Well, they're not. They were the wobblers. Funko put them in the spastic category for some reason now, but I guess it just made it easier.
Okay.
But they were wacky wobblers.
Wacky wobblers.
Sold at Spencer's.
Interesting.
And if anyone out there old school remembers the little pink triangle that meant clearance, that was the first sticker of choice. But then at the time I saw there was a website, so I went to Funko. I was supposed to be working, but I was not. So I found the website for Funko, and then I found there was a message board called Wobble World. Found them, and then it's gone now.
So how did you find that? You just Googled like,
it was attached.
Wobbler?
It was attached to Funko's website. They're like, join the community. So I went and joined them, and I did what a lot of people did. I just sat there and like stalked it, didn't join it, didn't participate, and then one day I was like, I'm gonna sign up with an account. So I became Swoboda Fett, and the rest is history.
Still
yeah, it's still held. So the rest became history, and then I got in. I'm in too deep now. I'm literally in too deep.
Well, you know what? We can show pictures of your collection. Now, I selected a couple of different photos that I thought would look good. There's a picture of you holding the Porg with a bunch of other pops outside the box behind you.
That was your Fanatics of the Week photo, wasn't it?
It was.
Fanatics
It
of
worked
the
out
Week,
nice. That's right. And I had I was meant to get a haircut before today, but now I still have this, which I had in that picture too.
So there's a Freddy on the floor. It's a tall Freddy, and he's wearing like a sailor's hat. Where in God's name did you get that?
That was the Funko Shop Freddy, the old Freddy Mart, Funko Mart Freddy, and it was a 3-foot display that they sold. You could buy directly from Funko.
Okay.
And they shipped it in 2 boxes. There was one with a head in it, which made for a lot of good jokes. And then there was one with the body, and put it together. But because I always kept it in a nice, cool climate, it never leaned. That was a big problem with a lot of them. If it was in the heat, the feet, it would lean until it just finally went.
No kidding, really?
That was a problem. There were many a dead Freddy displays from leaning because of the heat.
Oh my God!
Yeah, keep your Funko stuff in a cold environment to be better for you.
Yeah, I imagine so. But yeah, I mean, as you can see down here, they definitely stay in a cold climate. Almost a bad climate there for a while, remember, because water was coming in.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That wasn't working out very good. We lost a couple of boxes in a little bit of a flood that we had.
Let them free.
Yeah, I know.
Let them free.
I know. They look really good outside the box, by the way. They do.
Thank you.
Now, the Funko movie that came out, were you watching that and remembering the good old days? Were there a lot of people... I'm going to ask a lot of questions with this.
Right.
Were there a lot of people in the film that you're like, I know those guys, I know who they are, they're friends of mine, or I've seen them at some of these, Fun Days events? And also, attached to that, what was the very first Fun Days you ever went to?
The first Fun Days I ever went to was 2003. It was Fun Days 2 in Vegas. Vegas Fun Days. We got chili dogs and an Elvis impersonator. And that was the first time we got to meet Brian Mariotti, who came out as the Funko lawyer, but he was just friends with friends with Mike. That was the first time I actually got to meet a lot of the Fanatics in person, and that was still a new term being thrown around, Fanatics. So I got to meet a lot of the people I'd spoken to online and gotten to know, and it's like, my girl, well, she's my wife now, but we were still dating back then. I said, hey, do you want to go to Vegas? We don't have any money, but do you want to go to Vegas? She's like, yeah, what are we going there for? I'm like, well, we're going there for a lunch at a casino with a bunch of people with Funko. And she's like, we're going there for bobbleheads? I said, yeah, we're going to dress up too. So she helped me.
There's a lot that went with that deal.
Yes, she helped me make a Bob's Big Boy pants, and I got red suspenders.
Awesome.
And I went as Bob's Big Boy. I came in 3rd place.
Awesome.
She went as Nurse Betty Boop, which isn't that difficult to do, but she pulled it off. But
Nice.
yeah, you just gotta buy a nurse outfit from
Right.
the Halloween store. But yeah, people still to this day just goes, "How's Nurse Betty doing?" I'm like, "Oh, she's great."
That's awesome. What were the winnings for this?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I think they gave out. It might have been the glow in the dark Yummy Mummy wobbler. There was they made 48s. There was a glow in the dark Casper, glow in the dark Yummy Mummy. There was. I think that's where the Super Freddy came. No, Super Freddy was before that. I can't remember the other ones. I have all the old original Freddys, so those were great to have.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But as far as what was the other question?
So the film.
Oh yeah, the film. That was. I loved the movie. I went out to the premiere, so all the Fanatics were there. All my friends that I know, we were all there, and it was
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's been a little over a year now, because I came up with my timeline this past week. It's my picture of my fake glasses I was wearing to be a douche. But yeah, it was just like a trip down memory lane. It was awesome, and one of the things I really liked about it was that it was a nice feeling. There were good memories to have, because they're showing all that old footage in the beginning of it, and I'm just like, yeah, I was looking for myself in the bad video footage. I'm like, I think that's me. Maybe I was sitting right behind that person, but you can't see me there. I'm like, oh well. But yeah, it was great. What was that line from the end of Big Top, or not Big Top, Pee-wee's Big Adventure? I didn't have to see it, Daddy. I lived it, or something.
Yeah, that was you, right? Yeah, because if I remember the same scene you're talking about, is that where they had like the tables kind of set up? It was like a schoolroom kind of look. Yeah.
They came out and they did like all these kind of different presentations. They gave the hotel, the Tropicana, didn't serve chili dogs, but we got chili dogs. Anyone who can tell you about the chili dogs was a huge mistake. To eat those, we felt bad the rest of the day. We're just like, so you sure they really didn't, they had to bring in chili dogs for it, but it was still, I wouldn't trade anything for it. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so watching the film, were there a lot of your friends in the film? Were they featured?
Yeah, a lot of old time. Yeah, there were. I pretty much know most of the people that were featured. Bo.
Because you were in some of the photos in that film.
I was in one photo.
Was it? I thought it was more than one.
That was just the. I was like, they interviewed me for it. I'm on the cutting room floor somewhere, but there's no real floor because it's all digital. So I guess I'm in the cloud.
You're on a computer.
I'm in the cloud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But they but yeah, there's a picture about 50 some minutes in the movie where they talk about FDO. In DC, and that's where I am. You see in my head doing one of these things. My massive noggin. But that's, yeah.
So they came out, and did they actually come here to Maryland? And they...
No, I missed out on that round. But they went... it was in Becker's office. Because it was out for for San Diego Comic-Con and Fun Days.
Okay.
And I was in Becker's office, and he's just like, "Oh, why don't you come here and get interviewed?" So,
well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
So, do you know him pretty well, Mike Becker?
I know him from then. Yeah. And I talk to him on occasion when I see him. He's a busy man now, but
yeah, that's really cool. So, all these years of collecting and everything, biggest changes that you've noticed, just out of all the years.
More people. A lot more people. It's bigger.
Did you ever expect it to get this big?
No, we thought it was dead at one point because Wobblers had slowed down, and there was a couple other lines they had tried. This is right before Pop came out, and when Pop came out, I'm like, well, these are different. These are kind of new. Like, I bought them, and I was like, I'm on board. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I like blocks. I like everything. I like the peekaboo pop-ups they did. There were these little things that were sold, like they were going to be like greeting cards, and they would be like one with like a guy with a cocktail, and you'd push it down and it had a little note for you.
Oh,
it was very reminiscent.
Okay.
They used to have something called handy dandies, which were hand puppets, like cloth hand puppets with the wobbler head.
What?
Yeah, handy dandies. You don't look this stuff up.
No, I know. I had no idea.
Wacky wisecracks, which were the little mini wobblers that had little sayings on them. So they tried a whole bunch of different things back then, but when Pop came out, that was obviously why so many people are now into it. And so we went from having this little niche thing, this small, Fun Days used to be like, 150, 200 people in like a little conference, like the center inside the Holiday Inn on the Bay, to what it is now, which is like over 2,000 people selling out in 2 seconds type of thing. And I mean, back then you could still get tickets to Fun Days the day of. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll come over to Fun Days. It's tonight. Oh yeah, we'll get you set up. Just PayPal this. We used to have to PayPal Brian back then. Brian at Funko.com.
Really?
Make sure you PayPal Brian at Funko.com and get that. So that's how it. But it was small.
That's crazy.
But now, it's so many more people. They're a publicly traded company now. They're just on a worldwide scale. There's rumor of a movie coming out.
I saw that today. Yeah, I read that today.
What do we think of this? What do we think of the movie?
Honestly,
it's natural. It's the next thing.
It is. However, sometimes I feel like the Funko moves a little too fast.
But they have to, don't they?
Sorta. I mean, you think about it with the rage on Pops. And when they release them, people, especially if they release them on FunkoShop.com, people go crazy over them. What I think Funko, I told this, we've talked about this a lot on here, and you may disagree, you might agree. And of course, it always comes down to the bottom dollar for Funko. But I think that Funko should try to go to, they should try to limit even commons just by a little bit. Because if you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to a lot of these stores. Now, they're already sold. Funko has already made their money because they're at these stores now, right? But you go there, and you run into a whole wall full of Snoke from Episode 8, right? If you made those pops not quite as common, and they're a little bit harder to find, people are going to go really crazy over them. That's what I think will be good, not only for them, but also for the collector. Because it's more fun.
I understand that. The other side is that because you have sold so many Snokes and like the other Target exclusive from Ant-Man and the Wasp that I see.
Oh, yeah,
there,
Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, because of all those, you get your smaller releases. You get your, 200 edition pop that, they just give away, or like your mystery mini that they just gave away for voting for Toy of the Year. So you get, and that's how it worked in the Wobbler days, where we got smaller releases of Wobblers that people wanted. Like the last big ad icon wobbler we got was the A&W root beer bear, and that was one of the ones people wanted. They flipped over, thought it was awesome, and it was a small run. And the reason they got that is because they had Star Wars, and they had all these higher ones that brought the money, so they could just sneak in something that was low production and had a very small market for it. Right. So a lot of times that's kind of what goes into it. I don't know if that's the case anymore because it's just so massive. It was like back in the day when we used to go buy G.I. Joe stuff.
Sure.
You'd want the Storm Shadow and the camouflage, but all they had was the new Duke. You didn't want that. I don't want Commander Hawk. I want Storm Shadow.
Right. Well, the ninjas.
I want the ninja. Where's this one?
Where's the ninjas? No, I mean, I don't know. It's sometimes when you make movies and things. Now, Lego has changed my mind in some aspects. Sometimes movies cheapen it. And they're ugly dolls, I think, are a thing.
Oh, I can't wait.
So they're making a film off of that. I've seen a couple of trailers for it, and I just don't know how to feel, honestly. And not that I'm an ugly doll fan. It's just the trailer looks so cheap to me.
So I haven't, I didn't even know the trailer came out.
Let me tell you something.
I'm a failure as a fan.
So, who was the first winner on American Idol? The chick?
Kelly Clarkson?
She's singing through the entire trailer for the Ugly Doll film. So apparently it's a big musical, is what it's going to turn out to be.
Well, I don't know, most cartoons, Spider-Verse notwithstanding.
Yeah, well, and Lego wasn't really
That's true.
That wasn't a...
But you have I like the Ugly Dolls. I love the pops that came out too. Not many people did, but there seems to be some sort of...
Oh, there's a big following on it.
Now there is. Now they can't get them anymore.
Right.
I love those. But the Ugly Dolls were they were at every single con around the corner from the Funko booth. So I got to see them constantly. And I have a bunch of Ugly Dolls back from, all my San Diego Comic-Con days. So we saw them a lot. And that's how I knew about them. I met David Horvath. It's
like his own thing.
It was his own thing.
Right.
And then the vinyl didn't work out. Kid Robot did a bunch, I think, of Ugly Doll stuff.
Okay.
And so did there's another toy company that's not around anymore. They sold really, really nice vinyls, and they went out of business real quick. So
is it because of Funko?
No. They got bored. They were they burnt out. They were just all right, we're done.
There's one now. There's one. She's asking me if the other mic would be better, and it won't.
Okay.
It won't be better. What was I getting at? Oh, the other property that Kid Robot owns right now are the G1 Transformers, and I'm really hoping that Funko can obtain that in the future. I would love a Funko Pop Starscream.
They had them when they did Wobblers. They had the original G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of the G.I. Joe ones. I don't know if I've ever seen the Transformer ones. Do you have those?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you really? What characters did they make?
They made Optimus Prime. They made Bumblebee. They made Megatron.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think those were the only three. And they had chases, their old Wobbler chases, which just had metallic bases for those.
That's
still,
awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Now I'm gonna have to hunt those down.
Yeah.
Now you put that bug in my ear, so I'm gonna definitely have to get my hands on those things.
Because they did the movie versions, and then they did the original animated versions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's switch off a little bit. Let's talk about this new comic book. So this new comic book is God Mode.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Boom. God Mode. So this is sort of now your baby. And so give us a little background on this.
I co-wrote it with Mike Rosenzweig, and it was a culmination of several months of working on this. And Chris Crosby was the creator for it, at Keenspot. And it's something I got this good opportunity to do, and it's a good creative output for me.
Cool.
So I'm really excited about it, and the 90s nostalgia right now is hot. It's not a cash grab. It's not a cash grab. But it was fun revisiting the mid-90s, the angst of being in high school in the mid-90s and picking on your friends. And I can't stress that last part enough. Picking on your friends. Picking on your very good friends. But, early internet, dial-up, AOL, running out of minutes, exceeding bandwidth. But it's eventually it's going to wind up being the story about how this girl from high school, this tough 90s chick, winds up having one of the most popular the most popular gaming website in the world, and she's gonna be rich someday.
Interesting.
But this is her high school beginning. So it started out as an online comic, so you can go back and you can still see some of those older ones.
Okay.
And that's on if you look up Keenspot, godmode.keenspot.com, I think it is.
Okay.
And I did work on the online one for about a year, I believe.
So this one starts out like from day one, or you have to go back and read stuff?
Oh, we're in prequel. No, you don't need to. You don't need
just
that.
need the comic.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're clear.
This is it's an origin story.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, awesome. That's cool. And of course, the fact that we're on the back of the comic is even cooler for us, because I never thought I would see that.
It's a nice looking ad.
It is a nice looking ad, and thank God for Heather's friend. She actually came up with our logo there.
Mm-hmm.
In a matter of hours.
It's a good looking logo.
Yeah.
I sent her an SOS.
Right.
I was like, please help.
But we're very excited. I mean, I'm excited about the book because it's the first time my name appears in print that. So
that's awesome.
I did something. So I always tell them I did something. Look.
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Same here.
I'm going to read it.
So
all right, we're just gonna take some time and read it right now. Go ahead.
Well, so have you guys already? You have a story to go past, of course, issue 1. I mean, how far are you into the story now?
We're planned for 4 issues, so it's not a huge commitment. So go out and read it. And for anyone out there who doesn't have it, if they don't think it's going to be at their comic book store, have them ask for it. But we can also order it online.
So go to your local comic book store and ask for God Mode. What should they say? God Mode Keenspot?
Just say God Mode. It's from Keenspot. Can you get it? If not, I'm never coming back again.
Yes. You guys
And then
definitely.
you walk out the door. You got to sell it though. Sell that walkout.
That's right. There you go. See, that's what you need to do. Go to your local comic book store and mention this. Now, we do have 10 copies here that we're going to give away. What's interesting is that Jason brought for Heather and I for our own little collection because, of course, we are on the back of them. He brought us all the different variant covers, which are really cool.
They're chases.
I can't thank them. Yeah, they're chase variants. That's right. I can't thank them enough for that. So that's awesome. So thank you for that. And additionally, he brought us a couple of. So talk about this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into using or making these guys?
Because I refused to grow up, and I love 8-bit stuff. I love the 8-bit line of pop too.
Yeah, right.
But I always saw that people made those. Like I saw pictures of them online, and I was like, those look really cool. And then it was just out of my mind immediately. And then for Christmas one year, my kids, my wife bought them a set, like for each, like a little make your own thing of the iron-on beads.
Yes.
And then I said, I want it. I want to do that too. So then I made one out of the ones they had, and I ironed it, and I'm like, okay. So then I went out, I bought a big bin of them.
Like a kit.
And I bought a thing. I started separating the colors, started getting extra boards, and I had a plan. What I wanted to do was remake, and you'll love this, for Mega Man 2, the Mecha Dragon.
Oh my God!
It's it's
yes.
big. I wanted to recreate that, so I did that. I worked up.
You
to that.
made one?
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, I gotta send you a
huge.
picture. I put it on my wall. That's
Really?
how proud of it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
I'll have to show you that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's it's on my Instagram at Swoboda Fit.
Yeah, that's Swoboda Fett. Make sure you go over and follow.
But he But that's what I worked up to, and it's massive. And it took me a week to make, and it took me about 2 hours to iron because I kept messing up. And I'm just
the bees will go everywhere.
Well, what happened is, since the boards, they connect, and if you use them enough, they get like a little warped.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you're ironing, and you're doing it in sections, and then you think you got it all together, and you lift it up, and all of a sudden it has a giant hole in the center, and you're like, no! No! It's taking too long! But I worked it out, and I was sweating profusely and angry.
So the same thing happened with me, because I made a DeLorean one day, and for my kid, and the whole thing got screwed up. I ended up having to scrap it. But I did make like a Mega Man, like it was a jumping Mega Man or something like that. I made her Pennywise, but man, that's really fun. And when you when you're doing it, you lose track of time, like majorly.
I don't like meditate or anything, so I was, to calm myself down and just get to a zenful state, I would just sit there and just do that.
Yes.
And I would take if everyone would be in bed, and I would just take an hour or two to myself and just sit there with the little thing. But I mainly gave you the Mega Man one, so if anyone wants to tell you to get a life, just I got one.
That's awesome.
Get a life.
Yeah, and then of course the Negan there.
I just found I found that pattern today, and I adjusted it because I thought the one they had online, the head was too big, so I made it a small.
No, that looks really cool. Yeah, the head was bigger.
The head was bigger. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was based off the brick heads design.
Ah, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
so,
these are cool. So thank you very much for bringing these.
You're welcome.
To us.
Fresh off the iron.
That's cool. So is that something that you do on a regular basis? You like to make this stuff?
I do. It keeps me calm. Like I was preparing for this in order to settle myself down. Like, okay.
So this kind of funnels great, I think, in a good way, funnels right into Fanatics Day Out. So Fanatics Day Out, for those of you guys out there who don't know, there's a certain, it's every other year, am I right about that?
It's every other year except when it's not.
Good.
Because we had it, because it was every other year, and then we had it in 2010, and then we had another one in 2011. Those were both in Baltimore. Those were both in my backyard. Those had 12 to 15 people.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that was it. It was small, but it was still small back then.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, but it was a lot smaller. And the first FDO we did, it was in 3 cities. It was in LA. I think it was LA. It was LA, Minnesota, and New York. I think it was LA. If it's not, I'm sorry, Corey. Sorry. But it was only like 4 of us in New York. But it was all it was. It was just supposed to be a thing to get together, and that's how it was started by Corey Nelson.
Okay.
Mr. Corey 5000, if he's online.
So he's the one that started this.
Yeah, he did it. He actually got the only Funko All-Star award at the last Fun Days because of this. It was really cool to see that happen. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was just supposed to be a get-together of fans on one particular day. It was on Free Comic Book Day. That's what the whole point of it was. Go out to your comic book store, go out, get together, talk Funko, and just have fun. Do other things.
Yeah.
And it just it grew a little bit, and it's now what it is now. And, the one in LA had a couple hundred people. There was one in Vegas, 17 cities, I think it was.
Yeah.
A lot of cities.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more. And now countries, there's first one in Australia. Good day.
Really?
Good day. That was the one that's there's one in Australia. We had one in Singapore. I mean,
But they all take place on the same day, is that right?
This past one did. But
Okay.
because of the size now, the one in 2017, it took place on 2 separate weekends.
Okay.
So it was Free Comic Book Day weekend, and then there was the weekend after that. That it
Okay.
also took place.
So the one that happened here in Baltimore was run by you. So you put this whole thing together. How long did it take you to plan this thing?
Many months, because I knew it was happening. It was before Fun Day, as I was hanging out with Corey, or it was the day after. It doesn't matter. It was San Diego Comic-Con. I was hanging out with Corey for the day, and he was just like, "So, you know, Funko's turning 20 next year. So I'm thinking about we're going to do another one. So I knew that was like in the works. So in my head, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to start planning. It's probably going to be more than 15 people this time. So let's see what I can do. And I had, you know, gone out to, just kept in touch, and I had gone out to a couple places to see, you know, oh, you know, can you hold an event for maybe 50 to 60 people?
Right.
And I had some things lined up. And then when everything went live after they made the announcement, and it went live like right after the Super Bowl, I think it was. Okay. So we're coming up on a year now since it was announced. I was like, all right, I'll open up my so I had my thread on FunkoFanatic.com. Started going. I'm like, put your name here. You know, you gotta be a member as of right now, as of this posting, and then just put if you're gonna take a guest or not. And then like I went and did some other stuff. And then I get a text from a friend of mine in New York who said he was going to come down. He's just like, dude, you better cut this off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's only been up 7 hours. It's like, dude, you got too many people. So I go in there and I look and I start doing math, which is really hard sometimes. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my, I'm like at 70 some. And I had promised like some for, you know, one of the local groups here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, I'm just like, oh no, can't have too many people. This is going to be, so I'm like, okay, we're cutting it off. But I hadn't posted a price for anything yet. And I said it was probably going to be around $60 or so. But people were, I thought that would just sort of be like, you know, the people wanted to go now.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, so whatever plans I had previously, gone, out the door. Try something new. And once I started planning for 100 to 120, that once you hit like 90 people, you have gotten rid of like a majority of places in Baltimore. Plus, May is wedding season.
Oh yeah,
so
everything's going up.
They're just like, nah, we got nothing for you. Sorry. And I'm like,
oh no.
So now I know for next year, because there's not this year it's going to happen, but it's going to happen next year.
So 2020 is the next one. That's one of
sort of tentatively, but it's never. It's not something that's planned by Funko. This is all fan planned. I didn't mean to rhyme.
Does Funko happen to send anything for the event, or I mean, because they have to be aware.
They have in the past. So it's one of those things where we never expect it. It's like you throw a party, you invite somebody, and maybe they show up.
Sure. And
it's just they've shown up, but it's never a guarantee, and we never know. Like we never know what's going to happen. Corey busts his ass on these things, and because he's like the main organizer, and so like if he has to, because Funko made shirts for us this year, the Bob's Big Boy.
Yes, they were great shirts. Yeah, I wish you wore yours so we could have each.
Go ahead.
Variation.
We'll wait.
Yeah,
we can read the comic while we're doing that.
Yeah, that's right. I'll get to know the comic a little bit better. Yeah, because you did have two shirts available. Are you literally going to go put it on?
No.
Oh, you're going to grab the pin. It's right there. Yeah.
You know, the pins were something that all the host cities we got those made.
Yeah, so that's the pin that we were given when we went to the event.
That was designed by one of the by Will from Will Miller, who hosted the one out in California.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
he was on the other shirt.
Yes,
it was a blue shirt.
Yes,
and that's where one of the perlers, the perler Freddy heads, came from. That design too.
Oh,
but
okay.
I made every single one of those by hand, by the way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I made 100 of them, and I just did. I got to a point where I could time it. I could do. It took me 5 minutes.
Your wife was probably like, "Where is he?" Like
I
all the time.
I did in the kitchen table, and at one point, some of them were actually my kids started to do the outlines, and I would fill them in. And I'm like, okay, what color do you want to make it? So there's actually 2 of them out there. One, if someone has it, that has like a green hat, looks like Zelda. That was from one of my kids. They wanted a Zelda Freddy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I forget what my other kid did. He did something else. But anyway, so that's where it came from. But I was going to have different variants, and then I was just like, you know what? Doing like 20 variants is not happening. So sometimes there's like a one-off in there. So there's one like single ones, like there's an Uncle Sam I did, Willy Wonka, and the Oompa Loompa. Freddy's.
Oh, so there were some that had like themes to them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And we had a gold one that won the
yes,
that won the exclusive Chase.
The Chase glow in the dark Bone Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was really.
I remember that you were calling okay, certain people will have this color or this color,
Mm-hmm.
and you would give them different.
And I think some people just didn't realize somebody basically had 2 in their bag. So they didn't, I'm just like, you gotta look again because it may actually be in there. You didn't see it because no one was coming up. But we had a gold one, we had a glow in the dark one that got the blue glow in the dark one. They got the Thank You Freddy.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
What was the other one? There was the Proto Freddy that got the prototype, and the person who won it actually brought in a Proto Freddy.
Oh,
so then
that's
he had to
cool.
give it away.
Yeah.
Again, he had to give it away twice. And a lot of that stuff used to be like, that's how Fun Days used to be. It used to be. I remember in Vegas especially, they had like numbers
What
under
year
the
are we
chairs.
talking, by
This
the
is
way?
2003.
2003. Okay.
Yeah, and even like 2005 when Fun Days came back, because it skipped 2004. Everyone came out to Comic-Con, but there was no Fun Days that year. But they got that wrong in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did, because they said they said it was Fun Days 4 in 2004. Or 2005, and that was wrong. I'm like, no, you skipped.
Did you go back and tell anyone?
I did. I was just like, you got it wrong, but it's never got. It's too late. It doesn't matter. But there was no Fun Days that year. That year, it was my birthday, and everyone got together at this place called Dick's Last Resort, and it became this thing called Swoboda Fest. And so I had my birthday.
Swoboda Fest.
Swoboda Fest.
That's
I have
awesome.
a sign, and you can see it if you go on my Instagram. That's if you can see the picture from that night, and it was but Mike Becker and the whole booth crew came out. There's like 50 of us at this restaurant. It's all loud and rowdy, and it's a bunch of con people. Then Mike Becker and everyone from Funko just shows up. Becker winds up getting on stage, starts playing the bass, like doing all this kind of stuff, and I'm like,
A true showman.
I'm like, 20 of those tall beers deep, whatever. Not 20, but it was a lot of beer for back then, and I'm like, it was such a great night. It was really cool, and then everyone wound up migrating back to the hotel and stayed at that bar until whenever. And then I eventually passed out and got a hangover, I'm sure. There's also another, as the night I learned that Kool-Aid packets, because I never drank Kool-Aid as a kid, but I learned that Kool-Aid packets are not sweetened. And I had a grape Kool-Aid packet that this guy named Grego had given me. He was big into Kool-Aid. And so I was
Grego?
drunk and I just opened it. I'm just like, I got Kool-Aid. And they're like, no! So I have a black tongue at this point. Awful.
One of the worst moments of your whole life.
I'll never forget that taste.
Somebody asked an interesting question. What is your Funko product count? Do you know? No clue.
You don't
It's
keep track
over-
of that.
Any idea what number it would
So
be?
when they used to have a thing called Lee's Toy Review. They did Fanatic of the Month, and this was like back in the early days, like the early aughties. It was in this magazine called Lee's Toy Review, and another fanatic would write in that. His name was Cliff. He would do it up every month. But I got featured there, and at the time I was just like, oh, it's over 300. But once you get to 300, what's the point of counting? And I did a count, I think, before FDO, and then once I got, it's over 2,000. It's gross. It's over 2,000 pieces. Honey, if you're watching, I'm so sorry.
She's
It's over
watching.
2,000.
She is watching, by the way. She is
It
watching.
is. It's obscene, but it's all mostly confined to the basement. So
What a lovely collection you have. I mean, by just looking
Thank
at
you.
the pictures, I mean, it's picturesque. I mean, really. I'm surprised that for the film they didn't try to come to your home.
There were so
to
many-
do some filming down
I mean,
there.
I like my collection, and thank you for the compliment. There are other collections that are just way beyond even mine, and I have some rare stuff from back in the day. Carol, who was featured in there, she has the one in her whole basement. She was the queen, they called her.
Yeah,
Remember?
Carol. She's on one of the Funko groups.
Show Me
I'm
Not
part
Her.
of. Yeah, she had. Yeah, she.
Carol Lamb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and her she has a license plate, the whole nine.
She has so much stuff, and she has with the old 6-foot. Here's the Wally Gator in her house, and there's
Holy
some
crap.
people who have some massive collections that got featured on there, and way more interesting stories than me.
You can't say that. I mean, because you do have some interesting stories. Seriously.
But yeah, they're interesting stories. But
Yeah.
there's there's a lot of collectors out there, and who they got for it, it was good. So I approve. I approve.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, I've never, throughout my life, there have been times where I tried to collect something as a kid and as an early adult. It's sort of hard to kind of grasp it because you don't always have the cash for it, right?
Right.
But this is something that has, for us, I don't want to say taken over our lives, but has become such a big part of our life. And the fact that you've been around it for so long, that it's sort of a way of life for you. Yeah, there you go.
It's attached to me. Literally.
There you go. Yeah, actually, I'm showing me your tattoo.
Can you see that?
Yeah, they can see
Otto.
it perfectly. Yeah, Otto.
It was named after a old-time collector who recently passed away, actually.
I saw. Yeah, you posted something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
A lot of the older figures, even they always had references and jokes to some of the older collectors too. Inside, like the lids, there was just a lot of back then. It was just a very, very smaller community. But going back to what you were asking about,
Sure.
what do you see different now? I'm just kind of glad that I'm not like the weirdo with bobbleheads in my basement. I'm not the bobblehead weirdo. I mean, I am, but I'm not. So
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, yeah, he's got it. Like, because I had friends who would come over and just to my apartment, and they would just go and drink a lot and then go in my bobblehead room. And I had a roommate who would sit there, and his goal was to make everybody wobble until he finished. He had to get to all of them before the first one stopped. So he'd just be like beer in one hand. So it's good that now it's at least legitimized.
You're right. Yeah,
it's legitimized.
That's awesome. So, what's a grail for you? I mean, considering that you have everything, it seems like you have everything. I mean, is there something out there? It's like this is something I want to obtain. Basically,
I remember we were talking upstairs, and I said I was kind of out of it for a while.
Yeah,
that's because I found my grail, and this was a true grail. It was a Dick Tracy. Bless you.
Thank you.
It was a Dick Tracy Wacky Wobbler prototype. That was my main grail, unpainted. That's the one thing I wanted.
Okay.
That was when I first joined the Funko Fun Club back in 2002. I was like number 300 something.
Wow.
Yeah. They redid the numbers. I haven't joined the new one yet. But I was they had like a questionnaire, and it was very like vintage type of join the club, buckaroos, and they give you stickers and like pins, and you got a Freddy Funko, the original one. But they'd asked the question. They said, "What three products? What three wacky wobblers do you want to see in the future?" And the main one I put was Dick Tracy, because I love Dick Tracy. I love that movie. Yeah, that was a big part of my life. And they made it, and I was like, "Sweet, I love this." So I was just like, "I want the prototype." Back then, I was like, "I want the prototype," and that was a big deal back then because there weren't as many made. So if you had a prototype, maybe there were three. There was one they kept, one that was painted that was thrown away probably in China,
wow.
And then one that maybe just floated around.
Oh my God.
But back then they would have contests in Previews magazines and some other magazines that give away, you get 100 prototypes and one of every wobbler that's been made so far, because there wasn't much. And I'd given up. I was like, all the people that I've met and talked to, they know I want it. No one has seen it ever. So it's long gone. A friend of mine, Ron, who runs Just Another Funko Observer. If you ever see Uncle Jaffo online.
That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he has. If you ever want like old Funko stuff and on the internet, it's on his site.
Okay.
It's Just Another Funko Observer. But he got in touch with Brenda, who used to work at Sparky's from a long time ago, and he calls me. He's like, "Dude, she's got one." I was like, "God, what?"
Yeah.
She has the Dick Tracy prototype. I said, "Shut up." He's like, we gotta buy her whole collection though. So a bunch of people wanted stuff that was in here, and
so it was getting the money together to buy this collection.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of old exclusive, like old stuff, old common wobblers at that point, which nobody.
Was there anything else in there that you wanted, or was it just
that's all I wanted? I was just like, God, this is like my one chance. He's like, "How much you gonna offer?" So I was like, "I don't know, 150." He's like, "Dude, this is your one chance." I said, "Fine." I said, "Up the offer." Sorry, honey. Really sorry. But it was like the one chance. 'Cause I had a painted one that was from Bill Becker, Mike's brother had sold a bunch of old stuff on eBay back in like the late 2000s.
How old was this Dick Tracy? When was it actually created?
2003, I think that's when it came out.
Okay.
2002, 2003.
So this whole buying the collection with the proto in it, when was that?
Probably like 20. Gosh, I don't even know. 2010, 2011?
Okay.
It might have
so
been
later
post-pop.
on. Okay.
It might have been.
Okay.
Ron will probably know, and he'll probably send me a message. He's like, "Oh, you idiot!" No. But I got a chance to do this. I had a painted one that was all scuffed up and mangled. And when it went on eBay, it got put on the board. It's like, he's got one. I said, if any of you bid on that, come into your house. Know where you live. Getting it. I'm getting it one way or another.
Getting it.
So I got that, but then I got the prototype. I was like, okay, I hit that point. I was like, I got what I wanted. So I just like kind of went, and I didn't really buy much.
Interesting. So you got your grail piece, and you're like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
I wasn't.
right now.
I mean, I still like. I went to, Comic-Con. I went to fun days and stuff, but I wasn't trying to get everything anymore. And that was like my limit. I was just like, well, I got really the one thing I wanted, because I believe that there should only be one grail. You shouldn't just be like, oh, look at my grails. It wasn't Indiana Jones and the Last Crusades. It wasn't. He didn't just be like, "Oh, look at all the." That's what it is. It's a bunch of holy grails at the table.
Right.
You gotta pick the right chalice.
Sure. Right.
So it should be one.
So you literally had one grail.
I had one grail,
and it still stays your grail till today.
Absolutely. It will never leave. It'll be buried with me.
So what do you buy now?
I just go after what I like, because you can't be a completist unless you're just either have a whole house just for that. I mean, there's too much that comes out, and there's too much I don't know. Like, I don't follow anime, so I don't know what half of that stuff is.
Yeah.
But people go crazy over it. I don't know a lot of the other cartoons. I'm not...
There are things that come out for me too, and I go to the store and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
It looks cool, like that gold dragon from Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, that's awesome.
Oh, the Shenron.
Yeah. I'm like,
That is literally the only anime that I know. Outside of that, I know nothing other than a movie called Ninja Scroll. I know nothing else.
I know Golgo 13 and Akira.
I remember Akira.
Yeah.
Golgo 13, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it was the professional Golgo 13.
Okay.
There was a video game for Nintendo, and that's the only way that connected me to it. So in high school, I went through a small anime phase.
Okay.
This girl I knew was like, "Oh, watch Project A-ko," and I'd watched that for a while, and now
It's lost on
it's
you.
embarrassing.
No, not at all. So let's talk about a couple of weird things. So we like to do 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Heather chose the 3 questions tonight. I have no idea what they are. Typically, Heather will select them, and they're horrible. When I select them, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait. I can't wait to see what she came up with tonight.
Okay,
I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm ready for the challenge.
So let's see what you came up with. So if you want to start by reading it, you want to let us know what the first question number 1 of 3.
Question the first.
Question the first.
Okay, so this didn't specify a number, but I'm going to give you one number. Or the number 1. If life were a video game, what would some cheat codes be? So I just want one cheat code. Like, what does it do?
One cheat code. Well, I prefer God mode.
This ties right in with the comment. This is impressive, Heather. You did great.
Yeah, I mean, invincibility is pretty great. Because but you're talking about in the real life?
Yeah,
like in the real world, because killing your enemies with one strike wouldn't really fly.
Yeah.
I mean, you could escape prison probably.
Yeah.
Because one strike.
Right.
That
is.
But that's very violent. It's a dark place.
Right.
But I would definitely go invincibility.
Invincibility. God mode. That's a great one. For me, well, why don't you go and I'll
make it.
You came up with the question. You better have an answer.
Well, mine's gonna be really boring. I thought two real life on this.
If it starts with the word "so," we're in deep trouble. Go ahead.
So.
Oh, always. Go ahead.
I thought 2 real life on this. So, my cheat code would be to zoom really fast through getting ready in the morning.
That's very specific.
Yeah,
I mean, it has no service in the rest of the day. What if you wake up late?
Well,
Do you
that's
just
okay,
normal
'cause
speed?
I go really, really fast getting ready.
But you said only in the morning.
Oh.
So what if you woke up late? What if it's like the afternoon?
How about getting ready at all times?
Yeah, getting ready at all times.
Super ready.
Really fast. It's like just zooming.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one.
But not the rest of the day.
No.
Okay. That's, you know what? That's humble. That's humble. You know, it's like I got what I needed. No more.
Life or a video game.
Or
what
I
would
would-
be
I
some
would
good cheat
Put in a
codes?
cheat code to make a lot of food. I would just have a lot of food.
You don't need a cheat code for that. You can just make a lot of food.
Yeah, right. I'm going GTA, unlimited rocket launcher. Who doesn't want that?
Doesn't want that.
Of course, I want an unlimited rocket launcher at all times,
Listen,
or a tank.
I have to tell you something. I love you very much, but we're having a lot of echo in the mic, so if you could not
No, it's
scream.
better for them because it's like it's really big. It's like guys
Rocket
talking to them.
launcher.
Rocket launcher.
Oh, God.
Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday.
Hey, it is Sunday.
It is Sunday.
You missed
This
their
was-
lost opportunity right there for saying Sunday, Sunday. Scream out
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Scream out Foreman Mill. Foreman Mill.
Foreman Mills. All right, what's the second question?
The second question is, so this number is also.
This
gonna
question
be
is long as hell. It looks like you're reading a paragraph out of like a book.
I don't think you're allowed to say HE double hockey sticks.
I just said it
on
anyway. I don't care. I'm doing it. What do I care?
I said douche.
He
No,
did.
that's okay. I say douche all the time.
He said
Oh.
ass one time too.
Did I?
He did. It was cool. I thought he was.
It
Super
was just
cool.
one time.
For
but
some
the way
reason, he was wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket when he said it. It was
and I
weird.
went, ass.
What's the second question?
Okay. So this is another question that sort of doesn't specify a number, so just one. What are some fun, interesting alternatives to war that countries could settle their differences with?
Alternatives to war.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Step Up movies, and You Got Served. So I think dance-offs.
I like that.
I think
like
though
that.
they would have to recruit dancers, because I'm not sure that we're gonna want to see like Kim
Me?
Jong Un and Don. Well, maybe Trump and Un
Are
going
they-
together.
Are they sending?
I
Are
would
they
pay
sending
good
their?
money to see
Are they
that.
sending their presidents in? Is that what we're going to get down with?
Yeah,
the
I
presidents are doing this.
I don't think you can send the. You'd have to have an army
Like, are
of
they
trained
going to have?
fighters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
a
They're
trained
gonna-
dance fighters.
Yeah,
An army of. It'll be like the most like an AGT, but it'll just be every country's GT.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's got talent, but it's gonna be nothing but dancers. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like the world's largest Janet Jackson recruitment concert. It's gonna be great.
I think that
Book it.
every country should, whoever it is playing, let's say the president.
What?
okay?
No, they're not playing. This is war, Chris.
No, I'm saying no. This is what they're going to do. The leaders are going to play.
Oh, they're okay. They're playing
yes.
something. Okay.
They're going to play a round of Smash Brothers. No weapons. No weapons.
But so you're gonna eliminate like Link.
No,
And
no. I'm
Richter?
saying no drops. I'm sorry, no drops.
No drops, but it's
No
unfair
drops.
because Link's got the sword.
I know, but still they have to
War's
go
not-
in no drops.
War's not fair.
I know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you can choose your character. So
That's
if two
true.
people want to go head to head as Link and Link,
Maybe should we go only the characters you get when you first start the game up without getting all the other characters,
I
or
can
you
still
have to
do
get
Link.
all of the other characters? I don't know. The original, or N64, or Switch.
But-
N64 does have Jigglypuff.
But Heather, would you fall asleep before they picked
I
all the
would.
battles? You'd be bad for that kind of war.
Heather would be like dead asleep.
I would not sign up for the Smash Brothers army.
You're like, where's the protest? I don't believe in this at all.
What is yours?
I told the dancing.
Oh, you're dancing. What was yours?
Are you crazy?
No,
You
I'm
didn't pick
too
one
busy
yet.
in Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay. Mine would be a cook-off.
Okay, that's a good one.
But I don't know how they would judge. See,
Yeah,
they
who's
would.
judging?
Yeah, they would have to either cook the same dish or bake the same treat.
There's only one thing that's fair. Every country needs their own Guy Fieri.
There you go.
Every
Yeah.
country needs a Flavor Town.
Yeah.
Or all the wars get settled in Flavor Town. Full throttle. This
They
is
all have
gonna
the
be-
same hair.
That
I
would be
like it.
good,
I like it.
And then they would have to have judges. There would be a judge from every country, so it wouldn't be biased. But you couldn't vote for your own country.
A judge from every country? Do you know how many countries there are?
Yes, but you would just cook multiple batches of whatever.
I mean, you'd have like an Italian Guy Fieri, Russian Guy Fieri.
Yeah. And the best part
Guam Guy Fieri.
You know what? I don't want to meet Russian Guy Fieri. You know, he's a hardcore guy.
He probably is.
Yeah, he's really big too.
He loves borscht.
I went to Russia once, and that soup is horrible. I just have to say that. It was horrible.
It's cold soup.
It was the worst.
It's like gazpacho, but not good. It's a cold soup.
It was gross, is what it was.
That Guy Fieri actually wears a hat, which is amazing because Guy Fieri...
He doesn't wear a hat.
Yes, he does.
Guy Fieri wears a hat.
The Russian one.
Oh.
He wears a really warm hat.
What if some countries have like a Gal Fieri? You don't want to just... You don't want to limit it.
She's wearing stockings. Can you imagine does Guy Fieri wear those hats from like the 90s?
No, he's got the sunglasses in the back.
Is it sunglasses? No, but I'm saying, like, does he ever wear the hat where it's the visor hat? I can picture him in a visor hat.
No.
I don't know why.
I mean, maybe a long time ago.
And a Fossil watch. I feel like he's wearing a Fossil watch.
No, not Fossil. He gets his at Walmart.
You think?
How dare you? I don't think he gets it at Walmart.
I think he's a pretty humble guy.
Sure. He's the mayor of Flavortown.
Yeah, I think he buys his shirts and his watches at Walmart.
Mayor of Flavortown.
Even if he makes a lot of money eating food.
Yeah, he's not. That's how he doesn't even want to be the governor of Flavortown. He just wants to be the mayor. He doesn't want to be the president. That's how humble he is.
He's really humble.
He didn't do anything to anybody. He just wants people to eat.
Just the mayor.
He's just the mayor.
Can't put it all on me.
Yeah, I sweat when I eat too. Me too.
Me too. If it's really good.
Yeah.
Does he wear what are his sunglasses? Are they what's the
I think they're the Oakleys.
The Oakley, are they the barrels or whatever they're called?
I don't know.
The really thick ones, the big ones?
I don't know.
Alright, what's your third question?
Well, really quick, Blaze and Pops had a good question. They said, how many countries are at war at once?
I guess it would come down to...
It's a Royal Rumble.
It's an all-out war. Would it be a war between the countries that really are at war and the other countries are like, hey, we're out of this?
Yeah, but how would they choose?
Like, Australia's not jumping in.
All right, here's how we're doing it.
Okay.
We're starting off with Smash Brothers. That's going to eliminate a lot of competition. Then we do the dance-off.
Okay.
Or no, then we do the cook-off, then the dance-off.
Okay.
Because the dance-off is going to be the final two countries of war. So you're going to get the best of the best. Or at least the ones that had the best food.
Yeah. And then...
And are really good at video games.
They make the best dishes.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in this world that we're discussing, by the way.
I don't know. I think
sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, it's peaceful, but that's giving me like, stagina.
Well, you don't have to dance or cook. It's up to the
Who
people
wants to
that
be in a
choose to
losing
do that.
team?
True.
Better learn how to cook and dance and play Smash
Our
Brothers.
country lost to Smash Brothers. Can you imagine?
We're not the greatest anymore.
How could they play? What was the character from? What was the character? The Pikmin character? What was his name?
Oh,
no, the little Pikmin character. Like I can imagine the country picking that character, and they're like, "No! Why would you do that?" He's horrible. He's a horrible character. That was my own thoughts. Go ahead. What's your third one?
Okay, the very last one is, what is your most embarrassing moment from high school?
Oh my God! Well, what do we have? So, are we now opening the Gasp playbook of horrible things that happened in high school? Are we kidding? Are you kidding me? Well, you go first.
Well, see, I think
Most
mine
embarrassing.
might be something that like people don't want to hear about, so I need some time to think of one
What
that's.
do you mean people don't want to hear about?
It's a little bit too much information.
That could go so many ways. Okay.
Well, it has to do with being a female, and I just don't think
Oh,
our
for
viewers want to
listen,
hear
let's-
that.
God, let's not bring in the Monday night sitcom stories in, okay? About how you got your pee. Okay, nobody needs to know about that. Do you have any other stories that are beyond
That's what I'm
that?
saying. I think I need like a couple minutes.
Okay, well, I'm going to
think
promise you
about
one
that.
thing. My story has nothing to do with blood.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so that's number one.
You want me to just go first?
Yes.
I split my pants. I went to a Catholic high school and I split my pants, which is embarrassing on several levels. I think it was my sophomore year, and that's like the worst year of high school because you're not a freshman anymore, and so you try to overcompensate. You're like, yeah, freshmen suck. Remember last year? Anyway, guys. So anyway, I split my pants, and like,
Where'd you split the pants?
Where do you else you split them? Right
No,
down the
no,
middle.
I mean, where were you?
I was like in school. I mean, I was like in class, and I went to go pick up something, and I just hear, and everyone heard it, and I'm like, excuse me. And it wasn't like, because they were like dress pants, so it wasn't just like this normal, like, you get like, oh, I got a hole in my jeans, sorry, don't be happy. No, it like split from like the zipper, the bottom of the zipper, all the way up the back. And I used to wear tighty whities. So I wasn't like, it's not like you could hide the boxers or put on a sweater. I was like, nah, I'm uncomfortable. So my mom had to come bring me new pants. And I think my dad wound up actually bringing me the pants. And he handed me.
It was a family affair.
He was like, here you go. Like,
enjoy your pants.
Sitting there in the principal's office. You okay? Did you do something wrong? I'm like, nah, I split my pants. Just waiting for new pants to come in. So that, I guess embarrassing, but made for a funny story.
I'm waiting for my new pants to come in.
Now, I don't know if that's the most embarrassing, because I could have probably just hid those painful memories away, but that's what I'm going with.
So, mine, I'm caught in between a couple different stories.
Tell them both.
Well, one of them was, I broke my foot.
Oh, I know that story. That one's not that good.
No, that's not that part. I broke my foot. I was running. I ran, and I broke my foot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's never a good story, that you just run and break your foot. That's never good.
Mm-mm.
Then I go to school, and I have my new cast. I have my new, like, shoe boot on. And
Shoe boot?
in front of my cast
even
was
know what a
cut,
shoe boot is.
and my little, you put like a little shoe on that goes over the cast so you can
Well,
walk
why
on
is it a
sound-
shoe boot?
It
Because it was
sounds.
a shoe boot.
It looks like.
So-
Sounds like the dog. Like sit, ubu, sit, sit, shoe boot, sit.
Sit
Go
dog.
dog.
My little toe stuck out, and I didn't put the sock over top because I forgot my sock at home. And as I was walking into class, this guy walked up and said, "Hey," he goes, "your toes look like little sausages," and everybody laughed. That was one story. That was really embarrassing. Because my
But your pants were still okay.
Yeah, my pants were
You
fine.
didn't wear tighty whities.
The other time was I was in class and my stomach, it was like out of a movie. My stomach just went, made like that weird like noise, and I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
So I like raise my hand, teacher doesn't see me. I literally stand up, I walk up to the teacher, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, go to the bathroom. So I run downstairs, go into the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom, and now my legs, I'm like swinging my legs around. I mean, like I'm really sick. I hear the door. Guy comes in. Hey, teacher wanted me to ask you, is everything okay in here? Everything okay? I go, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, we just want to make sure you're okay, man. He walks out. So then I get up, I go up inside the classroom. As soon as I open the door, guess what? Everybody's looking at me. Everybody's smiling. They all know that I blew my buttocks out. They all knew. They all knew right there. So as I walked past them, I said something like, wow, I didn't even realize I ate something that looked like that. And then that was it. But I remember being so embarrassed. I didn't know what else to do or what else to say, but that's what I said.
Is it number one or number two? I just want to know how much time I have. Yeah, you can't hide that, can you?
I remember saying like, I don't remember eating that. And then this girl goes, oh, God. Like that, as I said that.
It's not like you're in high school and like, oh, swollen prostate. You know, it took me a while to pee. It was just pee.
Took a little extra time.
You know, getting old.
Heather, can we just do yours where it's not like growing pains? Where it's like a story out of growing pains?
I mean, so far, I think the bars, it's a pretty mild story.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
I mean, you pooped, and then I split my pants. It's all related to that same area.
And it has sausage toes.
Yeah, there you go, sausage toes.
Come on, let's come on. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. What's yours? I can't wait to hear this one. This knee slapper.
So, is this going to be really gross? Because it's literally like the one really embarrassing thing I can think of that happened actually in high school.
Well, that is the question. You thought of the question.
Hey, listen, you go with it. I'm not.
You
Listen,
set yourself up.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Okay, well, I hope, like, guys, I'm really, really sorry. But it does have to do...
You realize you are the one who picked these questions.
I know, but I was thinking... So I had a story, but it happened after high school.
Well, you chose the question. You knew it was going to come down to being disgusting. How could you do this to us?
Well, no, the one that it wasn't disgusting. I fell down the stairs. I was dating this guy. I went to meet his family, and I walked in. I was all the way up these stairs. It was like 10 stairs. I walked down like 2 stairs, and then I fell down the rest of them in front of his family.
pants.
I
Stop.
just started dating.
So you fell
You,
down.
you fell down a flight of stairs.
So, but were they? Is it in the house?
Yeah.
Were they carpeted?
Yes.
Well, that's one good thing.
But it was
Saved your-
embarrassing.
Sure.
I fell down them. But it was outside of. This was after
It's-
high school.
It's like in Not Another Teen Movie when she came down, just fell down the steps and into the basement.
Was that the same movie when it was her birthday and she got the really large thing and she was
Yeah.
under the covers? Was that not another teen movie?
I feel like that was one of the scary movies.
I can't.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I can't get out of my head that you fell down a flight of stairs.
Maybe it was. I don't remember. But yeah, at least that didn't happen. No. So this embarrassing moment, this was in high school. And again, guys, I'm sorry. Just picture it as like poop. Okay?
No, listen. We are mature enough.
Where's this going?
We are mature enough to take this story in.
All right. So I'm in high school. I'm in 9th grade. I had just gotten my what's a nice name to call?
Thing.
Let's call it your womanly touch.
Aunt Flo just visited.
Oh, come on! You have to say that.
And it started, and one day, and I went to bed in these blue pajamas.
I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking he's falling downstairs.
I went
Go ahead,
to bed in these blue pajama pants, and I wake up the next morning and it's gym class time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know about your high schools, but we had to wear a uniform. Now, if it was cold outside, which it was cold outside, it was like December, January or something at this point, we were allowed to wear sweatpants over top of our uniform. Well, I was in a rush, and I grabbed the pajama pants that I wore the night before, not realizing that Aunt Flo had escaped a little bit
No.
onto the back of my pajama pants, and I go to gym class, put my pants on, I'm doing gym.
The cat turned around.
He doesn't want to hear
Yeah,
it.
so the cat's sitting next to us. He like turns a lot.
So it's this. It was the worst way.
Why are you taking the blanket
I
off?
thought she was going to
I
say,
have
I
to
brought them with me
demonstrate.
today.
I actually have a chance.
I have to demonstrate.
We have to
So-
demonstrate.
It's the day in gym class. We're not like doing our normal run in the track because it's cold outside, okay? We're not doing tennis. We're not doing ping pong.
Okay.
We're
Where's this
taking
Badminton.
balls against the wall.
going? Where's this going? All right.
So I have this bouncy ball, and you had to hit it at the wall different ways, and it would bounce back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're bent over like this. The rest of the class is behind us.
No.
As I'm bent over.
Oh no.
With a stain on the back of my pants,
Oh.
throwing this ball. None of my friends told me. I hate the ball to this
I
day.
feel so sorry
all
for you.
of
That
my
didn't happen.
all of my friends that was in my class did not tell me
Why
about
wouldn't they
it
tell you?
That's much,
because they weren't my friends. Obviously,
That's the worst part of the
that
story.
is
That's-
the worst part of the story.
it's much better than falling. That's much worse than falling down the stairs.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
falling downstairs was hilarious. but
Falling
that
down
part
the
was
stairs
sad.
was hilarious. Yeah, it was really
By
sad.
comparison, that's fantastic.
That
You
makes
fell
me
down the
wanna
stairs. That's terrible.
Why in gym class were you having to take balls? That's the wrong one. No.
To the wall.
Yeah, what to the
Well,
balls? Balls
But-
to the wall.
That seriously, that was literally the most embarrassing moment. The only embarrassing moment.
Oh my
of high
god,
school.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't tell anybody that.
No, I'm just saying that's just really funny.
Yeah,
We-
I don't
That's
tell
unexpected.
anybody
Is-
that, so let's not talk about that.
Is the new thing we flow together?
We flow together. Bent over with balls. Yes,
Yes.
Heather was. That's a true
but
statement.
yeah, that's really my only embarrassing moment because I was one of those kids that like I didn't fit in any certain like I had my group of friends, but I also made friends with everybody else.
Mhm.
Like I did always sit at the same lunch table, but I always like talked to other people. And I was always really funny, but like quiet funny.
Whoa, back up, okay? How do you know you're really funny?
I was really funny.
Where does that come from? Like, how do you know that?
Because
Like,
everybody
how do you?
laughed.
Oh, I was really funny. If you're saying you're really funny, you know that's not a good sign.
No, I was really funny.
You know what was really funny?
Carried a microphone.
What was really funny is that you fell down the stairs in front of your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend's family.
Yeah,
That's
that
hilarious.
was really funny.
What's the deal with stairs?
Well, yeah, what's the deal with stairs?
Both of those stories involve stairs. If you think about it, just different kinds.
Guys.
But no, what I was saying is, like, I don't know what I was saying. I don't know where that was. I had a point that I was making with that, but it's gone.
That
God mode.
yeah.
I can't believe that none of my friends told me about that. I still hate everybody that was in that gym class.
All these stories and more can be found in God Mode. No,
No,
so God Mode is the new comic co-written by Jason Swoboda, the guy sitting right before you. Oh, here we go. Written by Jason Swoboda, co-written. So we have 10 comic books here that we can give away, along with,
go ahead, finish your thought.
8 shirts.
So what I was thinking
Is a shirt will go with a comic until we run out of shirts,
what
and
I
then
was
ship
thinking,
out 2 comics.
They don't all have to be given out tonight either. They can be given out in subsequent episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You wanna do
What
that?
I was thinking was doing like 3 or 4 tonight.
Okay.
And then we'll do a couple throughout the week, maybe on Instagram or our live.
I like the way you're thinking. Very
Yeah.
smart.
And as an added bonus, I will even sign them and ruin the value.
Whoa!
Every single one of them.
Wow.
There you go. Look, you'll sign them too. So, guys, if you are interested in winning some of these comic books, can you pull up the random comment generator, please?
I can't because...
It's going to be on the newest video.
Oh, okay. So we'll do this. If you joined our live on Wednesday, you'll know how we did this. Zach, get out of here with your numbers. Stop guessing numbers.
So what we're going to do, because I'm feeling nice, we're going to give away a shirt with a comic tonight. So we have 3 comics, 3 shirts. You'll just have to let us know what size shirts you want, and then we can go from there.
How we're going to do that, first person gets first pick on size, second person second pick on size, third person third pick on size. If we don't have your size, then we'll give you the closest up or down or whatever.
Yes.
Either gain or lose weight.
That's
yeah.
right.
That's the
That's the only
lap
scenario.
band surgery for the small. Let's
That's
just
right.
get on with it. Yeah?
Okay, so what we want you to do right now, before we give anything away, is go to our latest video. It was unboxing the NECA Ultimate Gremlin. We're not going to count the Resident Evil Live. I want you to go and comment on the NECA Gremlin unboxing. I don't want just a period, even though that would go with tonight's
The theme.
stories. I don't want like, hey, or anything like that. Give us a we hunt together, or oh my god, I love gremlins, or
We flow together.
there we go. Whatever you want to say, just make it fun. And I will be doing a couple random comment.
Or thank you, Jason.
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
There you go. See? Huh?
But I'll be picking some random comments from there. You only get 1 entry, so if you already commented on it earlier,
Let
your
them
vote will
do their
count.
thing, and then we'll continue talking.
Yeah. So.
Let them do their thing. So we talked
Do
about
that.
Fanatics Day Out. So Fanatics Day Out, the year, what was it, 2018, right? So last year.
Last year.
So
Last
it
May.
was fantastic, and you put a lot of time and effort in it. I remember I emailed you during and before FDO actually went on, but during the planning period, and you just seemed like you were so out of it. It was a lot of planning.
It was a
going
lot
into
because I remember you sent the. I remembered you guys exactly because you had said her name was Heather Sipesipe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
You
that's
doubled
right.
it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was some mix up with your shirts the day of, and you were just like, these aren't the shirts. I thought, God, this guy's pissed at me. I've already messed this up. But yeah, so it was a long process. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Yeah.
No, I remember. Yeah, I did arrive in the shirts, but you got us back, and I knew, and I already told you. I was like, don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. We'll get the shirts whenever that happens. But the long time period of having to plan the thing, and then when the day actually arrives, what's the feeling there? I mean, is it, oh my God, I hope everything actually plays out the way it's supposed to?
I was nervous as hell because I think that morning I had like half a slice of bacon and like a bite of an egg, and I'm just like, okay, that's enough. Give me some coffee. But it was just a lot of planning, and my daughter had some sort of dance that day. I saw like the dress rehearsal, so I didn't miss out on anything important. I love you, honey, if you're still watching. But I had, the thing I'm very, very thankful for, is my Funko, my fanatic family, my friends who came out and helped me set up. And I couldn't have done anything without that crew that was there.
Absolutely.
They were just like, okay, we're here. There was Dave Crofty who was there, and my friend Alex and Steve, and Cliff. I'm gonna forget names, so I'm just not gonna name anymore. But everyone who helped me put that together, I would have been completely lost without them. But it was nerve-wracking, because I don't get in front of people like that to do a show, basically.
Would have never guessed, because you did a great job.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I never planned anything that scale before, and I just didn't want it to suck. So.
Right? Yeah, sure.
It didn't at all.
No, I mean it was man. We were first approached about this through a group that we were a part of, and they had mentioned, hey, this is happening. We're going to basically draw names.
Are you going to out me right now?
How am I outing him?
Yeah, I will.
I'll out you.
He's going to out me.
They basically come out and they say, we're going to pick selected names, blah, 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 blah. So finally they did reach Heather and I. And I said, this is great. And I go to Heather. I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to be invited to this thing. And I'm like, it's this amount of money. And Heather's like, I don't know if I feel like going to this thing. I don't know how I feel about it. Blah, blah. And she was new. She was really new. She was really new to all of it anyway.
Let me explain my thinking so I don't sound like Jason's favorite word, douche.
Uh-huh.
It's not my favorite word. It's just, it sounds nice. Awesome. My dulcet tones.
But he was basically like, you're going to something called Fanatics Day Out, or you had the opportunity to go. Like, we had to give money and stuff and sign up. It's this amount of money, and all I can tell you is there will be food there. And it's based around a bunch of Funko collectors coming together. And I'm thinking, it sounds fun, but what kind of food are we talking? Because that's a good bit of money.
At that point, I didn't know.
What are we doing? And he's like, I really cannot tell you. I can tell you it will be worth it, but I can't tell you anything more.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, what kind of event is this going to be? Like, is it an hour-long thing? Are we, like, sitting in somebody's basement? Like, what are we doing?
It's Fight Club.
Yeah.
Fight Club, right.
And I'm thinking, like, why? Like,
So meanwhile, while this thought process is taking place, I'm telling Heather, we have to go to this. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun. Don't second guess it. We're going to go to this. I'll pay for it. And she goes, okay, we'll go. Well, so let me just fast forward to after FDO.
Mm-hmm.
We walk out of FDO. Heather looks at me and she goes, that was the craziest effing thing I've ever been to. She goes, that was the coolest effing thing I've ever been to. Thank you. She goes, for the first time in our relationship, I'm going to tell you that you were right, which I recorded, but I lost.
Oh.
She goes, you were right. She goes, I cannot believe that it was that great. I'm so glad we went. Thank you for bringing me.
Thank you for that video you did afterwards. Too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to put something together that a remembrance of it.
I love hearing about myself. It's good.
But we walked out of it, and Heather was so excited about it. And, it resonated on so many levels of not only just like, you think about it. You go out and you collect these pops, and it's always nice to be like, hey, I'm the first one to get this one pop here, blah, blah, blah. And, and this pop's awesome, and I wanted this pop, and this is what I've been waiting for a long time. But it wasn't really even about that. That day was about a bunch of people being together that have the same love for Funko. And you were up there, we were playing all these different games. There was a table full of stuff that people had donated, which was insane.
The donations. I mean, I had, I thought I brought a lot of stuff, and we wound up giving it in the bags that everyone had that got when they got there. But the amount of stuff that people just brought, it was like I was shocked. And the people that brought the Freddy Proto and, just some rare stuff that they could have very easily, that penguin, the original DC penguin, they could have easily gotten a couple $100 for it, but instead they just brought it. And I knew, once I saw that, and then nobody stole it, I was like, okay, this is great. This is a good crowd.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we walked in and we looked at the table, and as I was looking at the table, I couldn't believe what was up there. And I remember the first thought was, you know what, Funko is being a real sweetheart, and they sent all this stuff here, right? That was the first thought that came to my head, because I didn't understand or know how all this worked. And when I sat down and started kind of catching conversation and talking to people, I started to realize that people in the room are the people who had donated most of the stuff that was up on the tables.
Yeah, I thought,
and I was just shocked.
I thought I was going to have too much, and then I worried I didn't have enough, and then I was dealing with some stuff out front. Then I come back and I'm like, what's all this?
Yeah, right.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was a lot left over, and I remember you were kind of giving it away in droves at one point. It was like, take 6 of this pop, blah 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 blah. And I thought that was, I mean, it was just the fun of it, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a little girl, we had talked about it earlier, who came to the FDO.
Yeah, because she didn't have there was a sitter. They didn't have the right sitter, so he had to bring his daughter, and I just like, whatever, it's fine.
But she
doesn't eat much. Yeah, it's fine.
she comes and you know, things are given to her, and she walked out with more than probably items that could stack up to be bigger than her whole body.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Was she came up, she had one of the tickets, and I guess her dad had it, and she was, oh, go up there. And then I saw her, and you know, I was just like, oh, you know what? Why don't you take this? I'm like, oh, you know what? Why don't you take this? And I remember years and years and years ago, it was after after Funko got Star Wars, and Brian was doing a giveaway, and there was one of the Star Wars. It was a green trooper that didn't get produced. It was rejected, so they had 3 left. One of them remained at Funko. One of them went somewhere else, but he had the last one that was there. And there's like all these old time collectors who were just like ready to fight each other for it, and they call out the number, and it was this kid one. This was kid, and all these adults are like looking at this kid who won this extremely rare wobbler, and they're like, and I'm just like, you know what, that was awesome.
Yeah,
because that kid he was excited, he won something,
right,
and there was nothing like on top of it, just like, oh, you know, can't wait to flip, you know, none of that.
Right.
There was none of that, but that was, I mean, years and years and years ago.
But there's a good feeling there, right? So
I was really pleased that not a lot of one of the things that we always worried about, like we had a little group chat going with all the other host cities. We were just like, who's going to be the first one that's going to get their Bone Daddy flipped?
Oh, no kidding.
I won.
Really?
but you know what? It's fine. Whatever. The amount that didn't get resold right away, they stayed with collectors. And if you couldn't make it to one, and then you had an opportunity to buy that, that's fine. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the messed up part of it. But, you know, most of the people that were there were not the type of people who were looking to flip anything.
No, and that was great. You know, the crew the people that showed up and came there had a good time. I got a lot of positive feedback from it, so either everyone just was lying to me or they really did have a good time.
You know, it was incredible.
That's how Fun Days used to be before it got to what it is now, and it's not knock on anything it is now, because now it's like a full production that takes like a year of planning or more. I know of like as soon as like the day after, I think Mike usually takes a week and then he plans the next year. That's how those things work.
Right.
But you know, the old Funko events, that's how they used to work. It used to be just a bunch of people, and it was, you know, they had a whole table of stuff to give away, and there was a lot of contests. There was a coin sometimes, or there was something underneath the chairs. They said, oh, this table wins this thing, and it was
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of old school fun. And we used to eat fajitas all the time, and it just worked out. It was Cinco de Mayo last year, so we ate fajitas. I got fajitas.
Yeah, right.
Were the fajitas good? I had a sliver of chicken because I couldn't eat. I was just way too.
Yeah, I was
jacked up.
So when I came there, I was so excited and so anxious that I was unable to eat. So I didn't eat. Did you eat?
No.
Yeah.
And you were worried about the food.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
I was. But we got there. We didn't get there early. We got there like fashionably late.
Yeah, because we had to drop Max off.
Yeah, and then I remember by the time I was ready to eat, they had taken the food away, and I was like, no.
Yeah, but I remember arriving and the room was full, and of course that table was up front, and I remember looking at all that, and I was like, you know, I have to record some of this for the Gastlecast just to show people what this looks like and what this should be.
I never thought to get video. And then like after everything, I was just like, God, I have no idea what it was. And the only video I saw was like from, I think you guys posted it. That was the only thing I saw of myself, and I was like, holy moly.
Really, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have to lose weight. That's what I thought.
No. So I recorded actually a lot. I don't think I used all of what I recorded.
I would love to see it sometime.
Yeah, I have to go back and find it because I have a folder that's specifically, I think, for just FTO on one of my computers somewhere. But it's specifically just that.
Nice.
And I just recorded a bunch of stuff. And of course, I had to cut a lot of it up in order to fit into a video of us talking about it. But boy, was that incredible. I mean, just,
I'm glad you had it.
Well, I mean, I think that you should just be proud of that. I mean, that was a major accomplishment.
It was hard.
To make that many people, let me tell you this, there were a lot of people there that we knew. I would say at least on one side of the room. We knew a lot of people there. And we all walked out and we were just shaking our heads. Like, it was almost like we had just gone through some sort of war. We were just so, like, beaten up over it because it was just so much all at one time, which we couldn't even handle. There's too much excitement. It was incredible.
That's how it used to be. And that could be another way to settle wars instead. Just have FDOs.
FDOs. There you go. That's right.
Every country has their own FDO.
That was right. Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, you had everything there. You had there was a photo booth there where we were able to sit down and take photos, and you had games that were going on. The food, obviously, drink. But there was just so many things going on. And I thought we were going to come in. I thought we were going to eat some food. I thought that somebody would go up and speak, and then that would just be it.
A bunch of tables with people selling stuff.
Honestly, I didn't know what it would be.
Yeah,
but I had a
didn't know what to
feeling.
expect at
I had a
all.
feeling it was going to be something like that. But you're right. By watching the old film from the Funko movie, you can kind of see that's where a lot of your thought and everything for that derived from.
Yeah.
Now, did a lot of other people that were putting these on do exactly what you did?
There was some places did Dave and Buster's, some people did other smaller things, but it was pretty much all the same. It's just the whole point is not to have. It really wasn't supposed to be like having like a mini fun days. Some of them wound up turning into that just by the size. But like when it started, it was go out, get a group of fanatics together, go bowling, go to a movie, go to your comic book store. Places where you can get God mode.
God mode.
This is like a secret word, like a Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Going out, the spirit of togetherness, and the fanatic love, the Funko families.
It really did have that.
Yeah,
too.
it was a magical day.
It was.
And
It
I
really
was like,
was.
I was severely depressed for like a week afterwards.
Were you really?
Yeah, like because it was, you just finish it and it was all done, and there were some people who came over afterwards. Who were out of town. They came over and we were just, they left. I think the last Ubers left around 3:30 in the morning. I think, and then after they left, I went to bed. But I woke up the next day and I just laid there and I'm like, is that it? What now?
Wow, really?
It was just like a letdown for a week. But I got my mojo back, so I'm good.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see that because you put your blood, sweat, and tears in it for so long, and then once it's already done, then you're just like, well, now what?
I slept, and I slept good. It was wonderful.
It reminds me of the scene in Lord of the Rings. Probably one of my favorite scenes is that after the story is told, and all of the hobbits go back to the bar, and they're all sitting around inside the bar, and none of the other hobbits have any idea what they just went through. It's similar to that. It's just like you're just, wow, the rest of the world has been happening, but I've been working so hard on this.
Who's president? What happened? What happened?
What year?
What year is this?
I always said that they could make a great new Back to the Future, which I hope they never do. They could make a great new Back to the Future with
Well, now it's out there.
going back in time, and then Doc Brown or whoever it is like, Trump is the president. I always thought that would be like a great thing.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I hope they never make another Back to the Future. It's all the story's told.
Robert Zemeckis has already put a big lock and chain around that thing. Thank God.
Bobby Z.
Yes.
Bobby Z's like, nah.
Good old Bobby Z.
Bobby Z. Anyone call him that, you think? What do you think?
So what do you think of this? I'm going to ask you this right now, and I'm putting you on the spot. What do you think of me coming over to your house and doing a sort of a little walkthrough of your collection, videotaping some of it, sort of a semi-interview of talking to you about it,
I'd be
and all
down
that
for
kind of
that.
jazz? Would you be down with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you just invite yourself over?
I did.
Can you make dinner too?
Sure. Any particular gin or anything you want? Any particular alcohol, wine?
I'll bring the alcohol.
All right, I got a whole bar downstairs too. So
Perfect.
All right.
So
yeah, that'd be fun.
I think that would be cool. And go through your collection, maybe give us a little reminiscent a little bit about some of the pieces that you picked up along the way. Because the pictures that I showed, people are literally looking at the photos and just dots. They just can't believe what they're looking at. And I only posted 4 photos. It's incredible what you have down there. It's a museum.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It
belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum. Yeah, it's why did Harrison Ford always grunt that? It belongs in a museum.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we should totally do that. That would be awesome.
I need some time because my room's in a bit of a disarray because after I had everything perfect in May when all those pictures were taken, and then I got some more stuff because Comic-Con happened and the New York Comic-Con.
Okay.
Like, all right, so there's stuff that needs to be placed. But yeah.
Question: What did Funko send you because you were the fanatic of the week or month or whatever? Do you know?
Yes, I did post that,
but I don't remember
because
what
I had gotten an email from
really cool.
Yoko's just like, I think I found something that you'll like, and she sent me. I got in the mail the combination of things I love. It was a Freddy Funko Scott Pilgrim prototype.
No kidding!
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
Because she was like, which one? Do you have that pork proto? The big 10-inch one. She's like, that's not leaving the room. Sorry. And I'm like, okay. Because I think I found something you like. And she had sent me that.
That's sweet. That's an awesome item. Okay, cool. I was wondering that, and I'm sure the audience would wonder that as well. When we won a Vulture Proto from Homecoming, and they actually sent me a Thanos XL Dorbs, the 500 piece, which totally unexpected. Well, both were unexpected, right? But they both were unexpected, and believe it or not, that video is what spawned this Gastlecast. We made a video because we received the box, wanted to do an unboxing and post it on YouTube.
Nice.
And it created this, what we're
excellent
involved in right now, that you can actually hear my voice double. I sound like I'm a WWE referee.
Sunday.
Yeah,
actually, I remember, I guess it was that week that we did that video.
Yes.
We were eating dinner or something upstairs, and we're at the little counter that we were standing at earlier. And he turns to me and he says, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but I actually really like making that video, and I think I want to make it like a regular thing." And I was like, no, I thought it was cool. It's sort of weird watching
totally
myself.
regrets that now.
She totally regrets it. You told everybody
Totally
what happened in
regrets
high
it.
school.
Yeah, right?
Maybe just pick something next time where it's just like, what is your favorite thing from high school? What is your least embarrassing memory?
Meanwhile, it's like a horror movie in your pants.
Yeah, it was a horror movie.
It's just a horrible thing.
Oh, looking back,
Scarring
it's
story.
like hilarious, and like I don't really get embarrassed that easily, and that's sort of a natural thing, and like I feel like all girls have some sort of story having to do with that, but I'm sort of just like, at that moment.
Seriously?
You got a little something on your pants.
Serious question though. When you fell down the stairs, did you actually roll?
No, I didn't roll.
Did you just?
My
You
butt.
planked? Like like Kevin McAllister, to slide down the steps.
On a sled. So all of a sudden there's a sled, the door's open.
Why is there a sled and why was the door open?
It's snowing, it's July!
There she goes. There she goes.
Here goes again! You know, by the way, the other day a movie popped up on Netflix or one of those. Do you remember My Girl?
Yeah. He
Holy My Girl. I need to go back and watch it. I saw it on there. I was like, I
gets
gotta watch
stung by a bee.
it. The bees! Yeah! I was talking to Max about that the other day, and Max was like, "What's that movie, Daddy?" And I go, "That's the movie where a child gets stung by a lot of bees."
Everyone loves Macaulay Culkin, so we're going to kill him.
And
Congratulations.
then, right after that, he then becomes a murderer, and they drop him off a cliff.
There's The Good Son,
The good son.
where he just said, "Don't F with me."
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Macaulay Culkin said F.
He got
Meanwhile,
hardcore.
Joe Pesci in Home Alone has to go wrecker, fucker, 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 fucker.
You know what I like about those two movies, the Home Alone movies, is that Macaulay Culkin is literally like a murderer. in both
Oh,
films.
ace.
Yeah. Like, it's surprising that he did not kill them.
Well, they should have been. Just in the floor walking up or the steps walking up from the basement.
Right.
That was the nicest thing. Yeah, that was bad. It was really bad. He did some mean things, but they were bad. They were just like, we're gonna murder a kid.
Yeah. We need to kill this kid
We
and
need
take
to
all the stuff out of this big house.
So when you think of it that way, it's just like, well, good. I'm glad he tried to murder them.
Yeah.
I'm glad he tried to murder those two robbers.
Maniacs.
He was very efficient at it.
So Macaulay Culkin recently, this is going off on a tangent, but have you noticed that he's popped up in like media?
What's that Christmas money?
With that, and he also popped up on YouTube, on a lot of different channels on YouTube as well.
Yeah, he was on the
Red Letter Media.
The video game.
Angry Video Game there?
Angry
Yeah,
Video Game.
Cinemassacre?
Yes.
Yeah, he showed up on there too, which was kind of cool.
And
but he was showing up everywhere for a while.
Yeah, but he did those 2 Super Nintendo games, and those were the worst.
Oh, dude, I played through that very first one, though. A lot.
It was dumb.
Oh.
Like, why did this... I always got mad. I'm like, why are all these extra gangsters inside of the house?
I want to know why I was fighting a giant spider in a basement. I didn't understand that.
All right, so here's something. Worst Super Nintendo era game, and this kind of plays in with the comic too, because 1995. Home Alone for Home Improvement for Super Nintendo.
I never played that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What are you playing, Tim Allen?
You're playing Tim Allen, Tool Time. Somebody steals the Binford Toys, or the Binford Tools supplies for his show, and he has to go on these different movie studios, and he's got a nail gun, and he's fighting dinosaurs. The first stage is a dinosaur level, and he's like has to jump. I don't know what kind of set this is that has all these platforms, but he's killing dinosaurs with a nail gun, and he's got to find all the Binford tools. It is the worst game ever.
Now I need to go look up videos on. Now I'm gonna go YouTube this. Since we're both huge fans of 1985 Transformers.
Yes.
Or 86 Transformers.
Yes.
Shows how big of a fan
yes,
I am.
I'm bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The 1986 Transformers film, which is fantastic, beats out any other film they've ever made. Bumblebee was great.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
Very good. I very much appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite dialogue?
You know, everybody. I gotta go classic. You know, one shall stand and one shall fall.
Okay.
But also, who are you calling on Crasomatic?
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah. Okay.
Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy.
Bad comedy. You summoned me for a purpose. That's one of my favorites. And "Ah My Foot" by Starscream. I always thought that was a good one. My foot! I always thought that was a good one.
Oh wait. First we crack the shell, then we crack the nuts inside. Rumble.
I'm so lost.
I can't remember the exact line, but I always like when he said, "Look out, mountain! Look out, mountain!" That was
you can see the whole thing from Lookout Mountain.
Look out, mountain! So let's sell your comic book for a second.
Yes.
So we want these guys. What we want you to do is to go to your local comic book store and ask for God Mode by Keen Spot. You want to ask for this.
No, it's not by Keen Spot.
Well, it's Keen Spot is
Keen
the
Spot.
publisher, but yes.
Yes.
But so just say I want God Mode.
God Mode.
Yes.
And should they mention Keen Spot?
Yeah, just say it's a Keen
mention
Spot.
it.
It's
There
a
you go.
Keen Spot comic.
Keen
Why
Spot
don't you
comic.
have this? I thought you were a comic book retailer.
What is happening?
But you want to get that, and if your local comic book store can't get it, you can go online. KeenSpotShop.com.
Yes. So you're going to want to look out for this comic book. You're going to want it. We have 3 copies here that we're giving away, along with a T-shirt. You'll tell us later on, not now, what your size T-shirt is. You can tell us that later on. If we run out of the size, we've run out of the size. You'll have to go to the next one up.
Show them
or
what
whatever
T-shirt
else
we're
we got.
giving away.
Yes.
We're
Oh,
giving
he's
away-
wearing it.
Yeah, the shirt Chris is wearing.
Well, we
This
show
is
the back as well.
the Baltimore Fanatics Stay Out
Yep.
from this year. Didn't you design this shirt, Jason?
I had help designing it,
He
yes.
helped design it, and it's Fanatic.
But it was I had the idea. Someone actually did the work.
So what's interesting, or what's cool about the shirt, is that the number 8 is Cal Ripken's number.
Yeah,
Well, it was
which I thought
Mhm.
had to do with Cal Ripken because it's Baltimore, but then I realized
It's also FDO8, but
Right.
it also could be Cal. It was a double. It was a
Yeah.
double meaning.
it was awesome.
Yes.
Yep. So Jason he took part in designing this as well. So you get both a comic that Jason had a part of, as well as a T-shirt that Jason had a part of.
Yeah.
So Heather, do you want to select our 3 winners because you're going to pull random?
One other thing.
Sure, go ahead.
This coming Saturday, next Saturday from 12 to 2, I will be at Chuck's Comics in Baltimore. And they're in the back of the comic book as well.
Yes, they
but
are.
I will be
Here
doing
in the back,
yes.
and Chuck's Comics.
Yes, I will be doing a signing there, which seems really bizarre to me. But I'm going to be doing a signing. It's surreal.
I will be there. I'm gonna bring my son, and I'm going to come there and just rep you for a little bit and hang out. maybe take a few pictures, maybe a little bit of a video, and talk to you, and then we can post that on the Gastlecast with your approval, just to show that you did some signing. And look, this is your grand moment.
It's wonderful. I'm very, very, very excited.
It's very exciting. Very exciting. Heather, do you want to select some winners here?
Yes. So I have the URL, and I'm gonna put it.
Oh, you haven't even had them. Oh,
Putting it in
they can't see that.
Well, I'm just doing it.
Okay.
You gotta have it verified. Yeah.
All right. First winner is Phoenix Holgoon.
Hogan. Hogan.
Yeah.
Hogan.
So Phoenix, congratulations! You won the very first copy of God Mode that we're giving away.
Now remember, contact us on Instagram or gastlecast@gmail.com. Let us know what your size and t-shirt is. We'll let you know if we have the proper size for you, and we'll send that along with the comic book your way. Make sure you give us your address as well. We'll definitely need that. Otherwise, we have no idea where it's going.
It's just going to sit in an envelope.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to sit in an envelope on our table, and we do not need anything else up there on that table. That table's full.
What are you talking about?
Did you clean the table off?
What table?
The table upstairs. That's where an envelope would sit if it were sitting in an envelope. Are you following this story?
No.
Paying attention to the dude story.
We're getting married and she doesn't even listen to me. You believe this?
Okay, something's wrong with the thing, because it literally just picked Phoenix 2 other times.
Well, I hope you enjoy the book. You're getting all 3 copies.
Oh, here we go. DK Legendary Collector.
Nice.
DK Legendary Collector, you won the second one. That's the comic book and the t-shirt. And then we have to pick one more. So that'll be 3 total. And I'll ship those out probably tomorrow. I'll ship them out tomorrow. So send me that information. Send us that information.
And I will sign these.
And he'll sign those, which is very exciting.
Wow.
So you guys will have a signed copy of this comic book. And remember, you're going to want to go out and ask those comic book shops for God Mode, so you can get your hands on the rest of the comic.
On an unsigned copy.
You said there are 4 that are coming out so far that you know of. Is it? You said 4?
We're planning on 4. So it's a 4-part. It's a 4-part.
4-parter. Okay.
Industry slang.
Awesome.
4-parter.
4-part. Did you actually go? Did you go to this Keen spot at all? I mean, or any affiliation with this? Or
Mike, who I wrote it with, he has a good relationship with them. So
awesome. Good deal.
And I have the relationship just working with them on the online version of it, which you can go back and look at those wonderful bit of history there.
So while she's collecting some names and trying to figure out winners here, what's a new line of Funko that you want to pick up? Be it a pop or anything else, what is a new line of Funkos that you want to pick up? Is there anything that's popped up that you want to...
Vinyl. VYNL.
Really?
Love them. It's like, it takes... I love them. I love the vinyl line. I think it's the best thing they've done.
Interesting.
In a while, yeah.
Okay, so I love vinyl personally as well.
Yeah, I love the designs of it. I was a big fan of Vinyl Idols too when those came out, and fortunately
Vinyl Idols,
those were great. The eyes.
You actually gave us one. At the FDO.
Yeah.
It was
Daryl. Yes, it was Daryl.
And his eyes are looking the opposite way, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's one of our pieces that we have on our Negan wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, but I love the vinyl line, and I think people slept on it, and they shouldn't. I think you should go out and buy it. The new Dumbo that's coming out, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. My favorite so far in the vinyl line, I have it right over there, is the Gremlin and Gizmo with the 3 glasses on from GameStop.
From New York. What was New York
Comic Con?
Yeah.
Sold at GameStop.
Yeah.
Love those. My 2 favorite. So glad I picked those up. What do you think about rock candy?
They're good. I have to stop somewhere. I have a couple of them. I have Ramona Flowers because I have all the... I'm Scott Pilgrim complete.
You are?
Yes.
Complete.
That's awesome.
Complete.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that took a while. And that was also because of... I was missing one. It was the Astro Boy shirt with my friend Mike in Canada. He's just like, you know what? It looks better in your collection. You just take it.
See, and that's what this is all about, right?
Absolutely. That was how it used to be.
That's what's cool about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the roots I'm going back to, that I'm talking about, is that it was that way.
Yes.
Instead of this people causing drama on these different groups or in these videos that people are posting on YouTube.
Yeah.
The drama shouldn't be there. It should be about helping each other. That's where the We Hunt Together comes from. Because it was all about helping each other.
It is. And it was back then, too, but just in a much, much smaller scale. But not like now.
So did you pick your third?
No, I haven't. I was I was gonna contact DK because I don't believe he's here.
Oh, that's okay. Contact him later. Let's pick our third
Okay.
winner. Because he'll get it no matter what. I'm not going to wait for him to respond. He always talks to us. What do I care?
What do I care?
Yeah, what do I care? Come on. Don't be ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, and I have a pen for you to sign with, too. I have a Sharpie upstairs that you can use. Ah, Tasha Ridner, you win.
Tasha, congratulations! You won the third and final comic book.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Sweet.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Jason, this is awesome. I'm glad you came down here. You were a big highlight for us because your name kind of came up right around the time we started joining different groups and things. Mm-hmm. We noticed your name. People were like kind of talking about how you were old school. You've been around for a long time. And we just thought that was
very mysterious.
And we thought that was cool. And then when you were attached to FDO, we were like, well, this is really cool. Okay. And we finally got to meet you in person. And ever since then, I got to tell you, you're such an amazing person. You're a great guy.
Well, thank you.
And you're the type of collector or Funko fanatic that makes us want to do what we do, and this is why we do this channel now, right? So it started with opening a box, but now it's because it's a family, friend-oriented thing. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate you for doing your part in all this.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And by the way, thank you for getting my Invisible Man.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we got your Invisible Man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and a buddy of mine gave me this Sauron today, by the way. That's the other thing I wanted to show off a little bit. This guy's awesome. I think he's really cool, yeah. So our buddy Nick comes over every once in a while, and he carries over mystery minis in his pocket randomly. And he just happened to bring this guy. He was going to give to somebody else at a meet today, but we ended up getting our hands on it instead, which I thought was really cool. He said, here, take this one. I'll get another one.
What were your hands doing in his pocket?
We do weird things here.
Okay.
Yeah, so you haven't left yet, so we'll show you later. But this Sauron is really cool. I don't collect Lord of the Rings, but you can't go without having this.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings, and I want that.
This is like one of the most BA things ever.
Sorry.
It's cool. It
for
looks
all
like
the Lord of the Rings
looks like you could hurt somebody with that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a weapon.
You know, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about, but we didn't even get to. The fact that we'll
have to come back. I'll have to come back again.
You've stabbed me so many times. What do I care? Not only do you love Funko and you love Transformers 1986,
86,
and classic films that I love and classic video games that I love, but you also listen to Howard Stern.
I do.
That's so awesome.
I've been listening for over 9 years.
Nine.
Have
you really?
Yeah.
So I've been
since I was my dad used to put it on in the car when I was getting taken to school.
In 1999?
Yeah, well, it was in the 90s, definitely. 93, 94, 95, one of those. Yeah.
Are you a Sour Shoes fan?
Of course, I love Sour.
Who doesn't love
This is the best. I could just sit here listen to him do his Gary impression basically all day.
Me too.
And just nothing but that. It's like, real quick, I was just talking to the guys in the back.
Yeah, real quick.
I was listening on the Sonos in the back. It's just really good speakers, But yeah,
I love that album. It's my favorite piece of vinyl.
It's a good vinyl, piece of vinyl.
Somebody said Baba Booey. Yes, Baba Booey. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you again for being here. We're going to go at some point. We'll have you back. I would love to have you back again. Yeah. Hopefully we don't have technical difficulties.
Well, you can come over and do the thing at my house next
time.
That
would be great. Yeah. That would be awesome.
A visit to the bar.
That would be great.
I can make my favorite cocktail for you. Let's have a big go at it.
I like it.
A wonderful time.
You know what? I love this idea. So you let us know when you want to do that, and we'll do it. That'll be awesome.
All right. Perfect.
And we can do a little tour around your room. I'll bring my nice new free camera from Target. Did I tell you that story?
No.
They sent us a package, and inside that package was a brand new Canon camera. And we called them, and they told us to keep the camera. It's a $500 and some camera.
Keep the camera.
Yeah, they told us to keep it.
What did you tell them the rest of
What did you order instead? Pants?
I wish.
Is it a good trade-off?
We ordered 2 packs of dishes, and the dishes came with a camera.
In the box.
Yeah.
It was all packed together.
I don't know how they screwed up like that, but...
I never get... when I get screwed up, it's just like, oh, we accidentally sent you 2 copies of the GoBots movie. Sorry, we sent you 2 copies of the GoBots movie, but you can keep that.
We sent you one too many.
Here's a Canon camera. Okay.
So we have our nice new Canon camera, our free Target variation, our Target exclusive Canon camera.
The previous 2 times we ordered from Target, though, they screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they screwed up.
The first one...
Yeah, they screwed up many times, actually.
In my box was supposed to be a shirt and a 10-inch Green Goblin. and they sent me the shirt. And instead of the 10-inch Green Goblin, they sent me a mug that said "Hola Bonita" with like a little bird on the inside.
Right, the chase bird.
Yeah, the chase bird. We call it the chase bird because it was a chase variant to make us feel better. About
But they
the
kept sending us the wrong order.
It would
in like missing part of the order.
It would be funnier if the Green Goblin was wearing the shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Or if they sent you 10 1-inch Green Goblins.
Or the box with the mug inside the box instead of the Green Goblin.
Or
Which
the
is
Green
funny.
Goblin had the shirt and the... Like, they were getting an Inception thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, Jason, for being here.
Thank
guys,
you.
remember, we will be back on Wednesday. That's not a warning. That's a
Could
threat.
I
That's
interrupt
right.
really quick? I want to give away one more comic.
You want to give away one more comic?
Yeah,
Why?
because Jason's here and I think it's great.
Well, no. I mean, okay. Fine.
4 out of 10.
All right.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it away.
Give it away. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away.
Red
Yeah.
Hot Chili Peppers.
That's
All right.
right.
All right. Number 4.
The good era
Four.
of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I know.
But
right?
that's a whole other discussion.
I would like to discuss it.
Not today. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much of a.
Hold
had-
on.
I've
be
had too much
careful.
water.
Don't shout anything because it
It might be the same person.
might be the same. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So that was already one of our winners.
Same.
Sorry, we can't give you 2 comics.
Up.
We
Wild
have
Smurf.
someone who hasn't won already. Wild Smurf.
Wild Smurf. So Wild Smurf, contact us on Instagram or at gastlecast@gmail.com. Give us your information, and also your shirt size, and we will send out your comic and your shirt. Comic will be signed by Jason.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoop whoop.
Tasha, you were one of the names, and DK, you were one of the names, but we don't want to send you a second comment and a second. That's like overkill.
Yeah,
So
that's
Wild Smurf, congratulations.
Yes. And that's it. We burned out. We went on for almost 2 hours. Guys, thank you
Wow.
for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jason. I've said this
Thank
3
you.
or 4 times. We'll be back on Wednesday to hang out with you once again, talking about Funko
Wednesday.
things, and maybe we'll talk about some weird period things with Heather.
No,
We
no more.
we like to call Period Corner.
No more.
We'll be back to hang out with you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. And prepare yourself because you will see Jason more in the future because he's an excellent guy, excellent part of the community. Make sure you go and follow him as Swoboda Fett.
Swaboba.
Swoboda Fett.
It's
I'm
Boba
sorry,
Fett with a
Swoboda
swo.
Fett.
Yes.
That's right. Swoboda Fett. On Instagram, go follow him. Right now, you can catch up with him and all shenanigans. Thank you, guys. And remember, as always, we are together, yes. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
All right. Well, show's over.